Thank you so much. Thank you very much, University. Hello, families. Hello, graduates. Hello, friends. It's really nice to be back. Okay, I want to take you back to 2011, my Warwick interview day. Right, so this was the day the uni got to put a face to my personal statement. So I had to make certain arrangements to do a little rearranging. I borrowed my dad's sensible, agreeable blazer, oversized, took out my earring and trainers. Today I was going to look bookish and smart. I even borrowed my dad's satchel bag, and it might have been empty, but it helped me look the part. When we were both confident that I resembled an upstanding member of society, I booked into the interview to prove to this professor that I was worthy of studying at Warwick for my degree. He asked me about poets I liked. I thought, big man, I'm prepared for this question. So I mentioned a poet who just so happened to be a fellow of the university. I'd done my homework, his eyes lit up, my little trick worked perfectly. I acted like I didn't know the poet was a fellow, so I was like, oh snap, you know him too? You like him as well? That's crazy. He just happens to be my favorite personally. He was like, he's a good poet, right? I was like, right, bet. When he writes, I'm reading it. When he talks, I'm listening. Fantastic, sensational, tremendous poems, riveting. Guys, for interview prep, I'd been Googling synonyms. Then this professor hit me with, so have you ever seen him perform live? He wanted me to say I had, because I could see in his eyes. So yeah, I lied and said, of course I've seen him live. He said, oh yeah? I said, oh yeah. In fact, I've seen him twice. And both times I would tremendously, fantastically, sensationally, and synonymously say it was the highlight of my life. He smiled. I thought, yeah, hustled my way out of that one. He was like, so you really liked it? I was like, yeah. He said, great. Describe it. I thought, oh, sugar. It was the longest split second of my life. A droplet of sweat about yay high trickled from the contour of my very bushy eyebrow onto the floor. Now, for context, I was a youngster who'd previously very unsweatingly, allegedly, broke the law, but for some reason, lying about a performance poet made my sweat pour. I said, to be honest, Mr. Professor, man, it's almost undescribable. If we're being frank, the professor's face was blank. Anyway, long story short, they let me in. And a few years later, it was 2014, it was Warwick Results Day, and I'd got the grade. I thought, I've got to call my dad, and congratulate him on being so successfully paternal. He dressed me up to look like a nerd for my interview, so I had to let him know that this square had just come full circle. My dad's here, by the way. I hope I'm not embarrassing you, Father. So I called him, I told him, there was a pause, and then my dad cried, like a child. And that surprised me, because I was trying to surprise him, but to my surprise, he caught me off guard entirely. Then I started crying, and we both cried, father and son. And I realized, of course it meant so much. He probably felt like he'd done a good job raising me. Coming to this country all alone, not being able to go back to his own English as a second language. We didn't even speak English in the home, and now his son had become a Bachelor of the Arts in English. It meant something. Yeah. And in that moment, I was like, it mattered so much. And I had no idea that in that beautiful, cosmic, magical moment where time stood still, that this degree I'd got from the University of Warwick was something that I would never use for anything. I've never used it. I don't even have a CV. I said, I'm just being cheeky. I'm just being tongue-in-cheek. Of course, I'm joking. That's not the moral. It's helped me unquantifiably. But I think, the CV thing's true, but I think there's a reason to look at achievements this way, because it's deceptive what makes them so meaningful. To the outside eye, they can look so polished and amazing, but these achievements, they mean something to us because they're built on a foundation of bad luck, mistakes, and failing. I've been excluded from school, predicted no A's or D's, then got back on my feet and had these big dreams and had to watch them crumble and find a plan B. I don't know, maybe some of you can relate, but I've handed in an essay thinking, it's probably going to get published. And then had a tutorial of a professor looking back at me disgusted. It felt evil. I've even frozen on stage and forgotten my lines in front of 1,000 people. My teeth are crooked, I work with words, I'm not bookish, I'm 33, can't drive a car yet. I got chronic fatigue, digestive issues, and I'm intolerant to onion and garlic. That's the craziest part. I'm a 3-time reject okay, so there's some legal stuff, but from an institution or institutions whose combined names rhyme with Boxbridge. A critic called my debut play a travesty. I run out of money every January and the taxman sends brown envelopes to my family, and yet I'm here apparently as an example of a tremendous, fantastic and sensational Warwick graduate. It's mad, but it's maybe because I'm really good at failing and really good at effing up. So maybe my moral is, don't be scared of failing, just be tremendous at getting up. Because success might not be what we're told it is. Today we're here celebrating your monumental achievements. I hope and in fact know you'll work and earn and progress in sectors you believe in. But I also know there's no bigger success in life than having friends who console you when you're grieving, or having a peaceful feeling in your heart as you drift off to sleep in the evening. Some of the most quote-unquote successful people I've had the pleasure of meeting have said greatest success correlates directly with the amplification of their demons. So by all means, go put money in your pockets and achievements on your CVs, but know that a smile on your face is the biggest success of all. Believe me, if you can kick back with a loved one and a cup of tea in Love Island, or an equally highbrow alternative on TV, and feel like there's nowhere else you'd rather be, then you're already a fantastically, tremendously, sensationally successful alumni of life's prestigious university. And finally, know that you have the hearts and minds to change things for the better in their entirety. So say, if you don't like legislation or a policy or sense hypocrisy, know that you can be the change that you want to see. If there's something that you wish society would do for you but refuses to, then be the pioneer. If not you, then who? Now for some of you here, might be many, might be few, it will feel hard to fit into certain spaces and conform. The rascals, the immigrants, the I don't know what it is about me, but I just feel different, the weirdos, the freaks and geeks, the artists, I feel you. Then you might just have to create things, rearrange things, change things. You know, literature, theatre, kids, we feel things a little more deeply. We're a little more sensitive, a little more ouchy, so take a few more baths and early nights, but wear your sensitivity proudly. Yeah? Wear your hearts on your sleeve because it's your own armor. It's a gift to feel everything and hurt more heavily and yet love harder, but don't hold the things you love too tightly, for solid particles can disband. Love true, love lightly, and let your loves fly into the sky like confetti from your hands. So I stand here before you today, super proud to be connected in an alumni kind of way. I'm full of admiration to tell you you will always be so much more than your grades and personal statements and CVs and qualifications, but that don't mean that tonight you won't have one hell of a party celebrating your graduation. So class of 2026, congratulations.